sorry for being a week late, but we will surely start continuing this series of Zelda 35 from now on. Why I was not there is a basic apology to everyone, as a huge storm came and took all my servers, so that's the basic reason I wasn't here. But now I'm back and hitting my stride, so welcome you all to the Zelda 35 episode number 2. The original Legends of Zelda. It was released as a launch game for the Family Computer Disk System peripheral in February of 1986. More than a year later, North America and Europe received releases on the Nintendo Entertainment System in cartridges format, being the first home console game to include an internal battery for saving data. This version was called in Japan in 1994 the Hyrule Fantasy: The Legends of Zelda 1, and it was also ported on GameCube and Game Boy Advance and other consoles like this. Legends of Zelda was actually a critical and commercial success for Nintendo, and I mean, you should probably guess that by how huge the game had become, being its 35th anniversary, and a lot of us people doing this kind of celebration. The game sold over 6.5 million copies. That is 5 times the Metroid 2 Return of Samus sold. The games is said within the official Zelda chronology, you can say it takes place in the era of decline or the hero defeated, which exists within an alternative reality in this era. Hyrule has been reduced to small kingdoms where residents now live in caves, setting the background of the Legends of Zelda. The story of Zelda is described in the instruction booklet and during the short prologue which plays after the title screen. A small kingdom in the land of Hyrule is engulfed by chaos when an army led by Ganon, the Prince of Darkness, invaded and stole the Triforce of Power, one part of the magical artifact which alone bestows the great strength, which being one part of a magical artifact which alone bestows great strength. In attempt to prevent him from acquiring the Triforce of Wisdom, Princess Zelda split it into 8 fragments and hide them in the secret underground dungeons, the original staple of the Legends of Zelda games. Before eventually being kidnapped by Ganon, she commands her nursemaid Impa to find someone courageous enough to save the kingdom. While wandering in the land, the old woman is surrounded by Ganon's henchmen when a young boy named Link appears and rescues her. Upon hearing Impa's plea, he resolves to save Zelda and set out to reassemble the scattered fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom, with which he can defeat Ganon. During the course of the tale, Link locates and breaks the 8 underworld labyrinths, and beyond their defeated guardian monsters, retrieves each fragment. With a completed Triforce of Wisdom, he is also able to infiltrate Ganon's hideout in the Death Mountain, which in the later games is found to be the home for the Gorons, confronting the Prince of Darkness and destroying him with his silver arrow, which I think never have returned since then. Obtaining the Triforce of Power from Ganon's ashes, Link returns it and restores the Triforce of Wisdom to the rescued Princess of Zelda, and peace returns to the Hyrule. The Legends of Zelda incorporated elements of action, adventure, and role-playing genre into one. The player controls Link from a flipped screen overhead perspective as he travels the overworld, a large outdoor map with various environments. While the player begins the game armed only with a small shield, a tantalizing cave immediately beckons them within, where a sword is entrusted to Link by an old man for use as his primary weapon, with the auspicious first message, "It's dangerous to go alone, take this." Quote me. Throughout the adventure, Link found various different items which increases his abilities further, from heart containers that increase his life meter to magic rings that decrease the amount of damage Link takes from the enemy attacks, to stronger swords that let Link do more damage to the enemies. These items are mainly found in caves scattered through the land. Some are easily accessible while others are hidden beneath obstacles such as rocks, trees, and waterfalls. Deadly creatures roaming about everywhere drop rupees the game's currencies, which actually was named Rupee after Ruby, as the creator of the game think the name was cute. Rupees are used to buy equipments from shops such as bombs and arrows. Hidden on the overworld are entrances to the large underground dungeons housing the pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom, which we talked about earlier. Each unique, maze-like layout room connected by doors and secret passages, often barred by monsters which must be defeated to gain entrance. After initially completing the game, one can begin its more difficult version referred to as the second quest, or in the Japanese, Ura Zeruda, or meaning other Zelda, which alters many location secrets and includes entirely distinct dungeons with stronger enemies as well. Although more difficult replays were not unique to Zelda, few games offered completely different levels upon the second playthrough. By starting a new file with the name entered as Zelda, this mode can instead be accessed without needing to beat the game first, which I think is very cool. And also in Japanese it's called Other Zelda, which I think is more cool than the second quest. This game also gave freedoms to many players, which is the sole reason The Legends of Zelda is now where it is. There are even dungeons with secret entrances which must be uncovered while freely wandering the overworld while acquiring useful items. This great freedom of where to go and what to do at any point for many ways of progressing through the game. It is even possible to reach the final boss without receiving the normally vital sword as its outset. So there you all have it. Today we talked about the original Legends of Zelda, and I've been a week late as I've discussed in my previous video already. Sorry, but from now on it's coming all Friday. So be ready for the next video, which will talk about the adventures of the Link. So if you don't want to miss that video, please sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. Also like this video as it helps a lot, and comments in the comments section down below what you think of the game and your memories about it. So until next time, see you later. Toodles.